Good evening, and welcome to my reading of the Endless Quest book. I hope you're all having a good evening. I know Victor's in the chat. Welcome, Victor. I see you've been looking forward to the day. I appreciate that. I was just going to hang out for a bit and chat for a bit before we get into this and see if we get more people showing up. So we have more people helping us decide what we're going to do. But if it's just down to me and you, Vic, that's cool too. It's been a pretty good week for me. I hope it has been for you. You said it. You said it was, so it's all good to hear. This particular book, I was kind of looking at it today, and I found I had the cover, but I'll show that art a little bit. But I found this really cool pic that kind of matches this book, so I wanted to share that. And I actually turned it into an icon, so it's kind of cool. All right. Well, like I said, we'll give people a few minutes. I got things going on this week. Tomorrow is going to be our premiere from Fridays from the Hilt, episode 13. We're going to be back after our long hiatus, and we're looking at werewolves. That should be fun. Got some stuff to talk about for our Lynn Horror games. We've got G.I. Joe to talk about, like always. Should be fun. Me and the Fridays from the Hilt players have been watching werewolf movies like crazy. Mostly just me and the tiger, but should be fun to talk about. We'll have a werewolf tribute video come out shortly after our live stream, so it should be up for people to watch. The one we're checking out. So, well, we got a couple people there, so that's nice to see. So, just holding out. This week on Joe Takes, I'll be taking a look at Lady J. If I can keep her holding her staff. She's just an old figure. So her javelin, yeah, she just doesn't want to hold it anymore. There we go. That'll work. Make a sheath out of it. Anyway, people a couple more minutes maybe, and I did see Silver Bullet. As a matter of fact, that's one of the movies that we are taking a look at out of the 5. We picked out 5 werewolf movies. I've actually watched quite a few more, but those are the ones that are part of our tribute video that we're mainly talking about. Just watched Silver Bullet last night. That was the second time I'd seen it. I saw it once before when I was a lot younger, and it was pretty cool. We watched it. Me and the tiger watched it last night, and the acting was way better than that. Good evening, Rudini. How you doing tonight? She says, working mostly and listening tonight. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I loved Silver Bullet as well. The baseball that scene, I love that. That bartender's all trying to beat up the werewolf, and suddenly the werewolf starts beating him up with his own bat. Oh, I laughed so hard, man. So, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun talking about those werewolf movies. So, hopefully we get a couple more rolling in here at least. Yeah. There were so many scenes in Silver Bullet that were just so cool. Definitely, it wasn't really a surprise who the werewolf was, but it was a surprise why he wouldn't kill himself or something like that. Usually it's part of the curse, but he had all these reasonings in his head about why he wouldn't end his own existence. But yeah, he was just a bad guy. I mean, he kept trying to come up with reasons for why he was the way he was and that he didn't want to. But yes, definitely was a great family film. So we're going to have a lot of fun talking about that one tomorrow. But thanks for bringing it up, because it gave me something to talk about right now while we're giving people a few minutes. But I think we can kind of get into it a little bit and start reading. Got Some of the artwork in here wasn't the best, but some of it was still pretty good. Like this picture of the dragon, I think the eye is just really weird on that the one side there. Yes, he was, and I can't remember the actor's name offhand, but hopefully, what else was he in? He's been in quite a few things. Yeah, I like that actor. He's pretty cool that played the werewolf. Gary Busey, I think he's underrated. I think the acting in Silver Bullet was a lot better than people probably remember. But it's been a while since I've seen Dune. I forgot he was even in that. What we got here? Okay, 5 minutes. That's pretty good. Give people enough time. Okay, today we are reading Endless Quest Book 13, Dragon of Doom. Like I said, I found the cover art to this, so we'll show that off a little bit here. I thought it was a pretty decent cover for the time it was put out. Everett McGill, yes, that was his name. Thank you, Rodini. I appreciate it. You know, you remember on the night. He said, "Hey, that's right." And I was going to put that up, and she said, "Hey, Victor." So that's cool. So you guys about ready to get started? Yeah, I guess it's just the three of us, which works for me. Or do you want me to wait a minute or two more? But I think we can get it underway here, and people want to join in, they can join in. All right. You guys ready for this one? Let's do this. Yes, sir. Let's do this. All right. You are about to set off on an adventure in which you will meet many dangers and face many decisions. Your choices will determine how the story turns out, so be careful. You must choose wisely. Do not read this book from beginning to end. Instead, you are faced with a decision. Follow the instructions and keep turning to the pages, where your choices lead you until you come to an end. At any point, your choice could bring success or disaster. You can read Dragon of Doom many times with many different results. So if you make an unwise choice, go back to the beginning and start again. Good luck on your adventure. Now, what I like to do is kind of let things fall where they may, but I like to keep the last choice available. And if you guys want to do that, that means if something happens and we don't like it, we can go back and try again. So before we start, if you guys want to do that, let me know. Let's do this. I like that. Enthusiasm, sir. All right. If no objections, we'll continue on. In this story, you are Morgan, a young magic user who has just received an urgent summons to before the venerable Council of Nine. Although you do not know the reason for the mysterious summons, you hope with all your heart that you are about to be entrusted with your first important quest. But first, share the thoughts of someone. Know something very big, very sinister, and very terrifying. The great dragon stirs restlessly in its sleep, trying to ignore the summons that whispers in its ear. Did I miss the practice? No, that's right. Like a mulligan. That's correct, Rudini. Like a mulligan, yes. We'll call it a mulligan. Okay, let me start that again, because I thought maybe I was on the wrong page, but here we go. The great dragon stirs restlessly in its sleep, trying to ignore the summons that whispers in its ear. Gold, silver, and jewels caress its body as it burrows deeper into the pile of treasure. But the message continues to echo in its head. Come to me, I command you, O Shen, great dragon of doom. I have uttered the secret words, and you must do my bidding. Come, and you will have riches beyond belief. I seek revenge upon the world, and you are my weapon. Come to me now. One huge golden eye opens slowly. Black scales ripple up and down the dragon's immense length as the great creature stirs. The message repeats over and over inside its head, summoning, commanding, demanding. Shaking its massive black head back and forth, Shen crawls from the warm, dark cave where it has slumbered for the last 4 centuries. blinking warily as it peers down upon the world it had left behind and finds it unchanged. Slowly the dragon unfurls its enormous wings and stretches the muscles in its massive body. Opening its gaping mouth, Shen looses a roar that singes the earth below. It is wrong that I must serve men in his paltry needs. Shen rumbles. Man should serve me, Shen, the dragon of doom. There is only one like me in the entire universe. Where I am, there is death. I am supreme. I am Shen. Stiff with age and sleep, the dragon spreads its enormous wings and launches itself into the air toward the summoning message. The sky grows black with the mighty dragon's passage, and wherever its shadow touches, there life ceases to exist, and word spreads that Shen, the dragon of doom, is once more loose in the land. That's a nice little please turn the page there. As if we wouldn't have done that. You stand before the Council of Nine, barely able to control your excitement, though it is mingled with fear. Morgan quavers the voice of Facade, the eldest of the council. We have summoned you here today to propose you a mission of great importance. 999 years your venerable ancestor Zed the Zealous, supreme magic user and the member of the Council of Nine, was banished to Bald Mountain as punishment for practicing forbidden magic. His period of repentance will soon end. You are his closest living relative and our youngest magic user. Therefore, we wish you to travel to Bald Mountain and to escort him home in honor. What say you? Your mouth grows dry and your heart pounds in your chest. Your mother's dying words echo in your mind. Morgan, you must do whatever you can to help your uncle. And remember how fortunate you are to have a pseudo-dragon. Treat it well. It shares your thoughts and will share its wisdom with you. Never think of it merely as a small dragon who can mind link. One day it may help you remove the black mark against our family's name. Rose Estes used words like a master painter. I agree, Victor. I really love a lot of these old Endless Quest books, and she wrote a lot of them. Okay. Honorable sirs, I am honored to do so. You say as you step forward, your staff becomes tangled between your legs, and it is only with difficulty that you catch your balance. Are you all right, young Morgan? Ask a council member. Got this picture here of him stumbling over his staff. It's kind of cool. Yes, sir, you answer, growing red. It's just sometimes I'm a little clumsy. Sometimes you even fall on me, hisses a small voice in your ear as 8 sharp little claws grip your shoulder. May Hinoki go with me? The little pseudo-dragon, queries Baron Beta. I see no reason why not, as long as it does not hinder your quest. The day of Zed's release draws near. It is most important that you be there the moment that the time barrier is lifted. It would not do to have Zed think we have forgotten him. Present him with our salutations and tell him that we await his return with great happiness. A fitting celebration awaits his return. You must also give him his ring of wishes, which was held in safekeeping for him. Holding the magic ring carefully, you bow to the council and make your way out of the chamber, trying hard not to stumble. As long as I do not hinder your quest, chuckles Hinoki. What do they think keeps you on your feet most of the time? Greetings, Vogs. Nice to see you. I hope I'm saying that right. I guess the W is silent. And Victor says hello as well. That's cool. All right, we're just starting this one, Vogs, so you're welcome to join us. Help us make some choices here. If I get some. Looks like our starting here is rather large. Yeah, we got quite a bit to read here before we get our first choice. So I think we picked a good one. I think Victor picked a good one. All right, good. I'm saying it right. Then Vogs it is. Okay. Let's see. The familiar said, as long as I don't hinder your quest, and chuckled. Doesn't know what he says. Who do they think keeps you on your feet most of the time? Come on, Hanoki. I'm not that bad, you say, eyeing the small creature, which looks just like a miniature red dragon. You're not that good either. Remember that time when I was still in the egg and you fell on me and nearly squashed me? Oh, Hanoki, I apologize for that a million times. It was an accident. That's okay. I like you anyhow. You're not so bad for a human. Hinoki murmurs as he nibbles on your ear with his sharp little teeth. When do we leave? First thing in the morning. I don't really know where Bald Mountain is. All I know is that it's somewhere to the north. You're going to get a map, aren't you? Of course I am. You don't think I just wander off in the general direction, do you? Never mind. Don't answer that. You don't prepare fully enough, says Hinoki. You should lay your plans ahead of time so that there will be as few unpleasantries as possible. Oh, I'm sorry. There will be as a few unpleasant surprises as possible. But that's boring, you say. I'm a magic user, you know, and I have very good intuition. I can always tell the best thing to do in a bad situation. Anyone can follow a boring map. I prefer my own methods. You may be a magic user, but let me remind you that you've only just graduated. You don't know everything yet. I know all the important stuff. I even got my honors on my written exams, and I have my Uncle Zed's ring. You wouldn't use it, would you? Hinoki asked, horrified. Not unless I have to, you answer. It's too powerful for you, and your uncle would be angry. He'd understand, you reply smoothly, but inwardly you are uncertain. Early next morning, while the dew is still on the grass, you and Hinoki pass out of the castle and head north towards Bald Mountain. The trip passes without incident until the morning of the third day. We should have spotted the mountain by now, insists Hinoki. I'm going to fly to the top of that knoll and take a look around. You stay here. You're as bad as a mother, you groan. I'm supposed to be in charge. I'll go too. And ignoring Hinokio's protest, Hinoki's protest, you climb to the top of the rocky knoll. That must be it, you say, pointing toward a black peak that thrust up into the cold mountain mist. It sure looks unfriendly. I'll bet Uncle Zed will be glad to see me. Be careful on the way down, says Hinoki. Oh, stop fussing. I'll be just fun. You feel a loose rock shift under your foot and you begin to slide. Desperately try to regain your balance. Too late. You see the large black rock rising up before you, and then there is a sickening thud, and the world goes black. Morgan, Morgan, wake up, cries a tiny voice inside your head, and you see a tiny pinpoint of light. Vaguely you watch the dot, and slowly it grows larger and the voice grows louder. Morgan, wake up. We'll be late for the time barrier, insists the voice. Lazily you listen to the words and wonder at their meaning. Moving seems much too difficult. Maybe you'll go back to sleep. If you don't wake up, I shall leave you and go on by myself. And don't blame me if the dire wolves eat you. Eaten by dire wolves? That doesn't sound like much fun. Slowly you open one eye to see Hinoki peering into your face. I thought you'd finally gotten yourself killed this time, says the pseudo-dragon. Come on, either you get up or I'm leaving. We've lost too much time, thanks to your clever way of descending a cliff. I must have knocked myself out, you say, rubbing a painful lump on the top of your head. How long was I out? All day and all night, says Hinoki, rubbing his muzzle your cheek. I was scared to death you would die. That long? Come on, we've got to get moving. Maybe if I walk all night, I can get there before the time barrier lifts. But even though you walk as fast as you can, you know that you are too late before you even reach the mountain. Look, Hinoki, smoke, you say, pointing to the plume of black smoke that stains the northern sky. All that day the signs grow worse. Dead birds with greasy black smoke, coating their plumage, litter the ground. Then you begin to see other small creatures, mice, snakes, rabbits, all with scorch marks on their bodies. I don't like the looks of this, you mutter. Hinoki, are you receiving any mind thoughts? Fright, pain, death, blackness, says your pseudo-dragon nervously. If we link our minds, we'll be twice as powerful. Let's try it and see what we can see. Maybe Uncle Zed is hurt. Sitting down on a large rock, you perch Hinoki on your knees and touch your head to your own. Touch his head to your own. Slowly you calm your heartbeat and breathe in and out with the pseudo dragon as you look into the golden depths of his eyes. Gradually, a calming warmth steals over you, and you enter a trance-like state. Your black pupils open, wider and wider until you see a small, huddled figure lying on the ground. As you watch the figure stirs and pain washes over you, you flinch from the pain and the picture fades. Did you see him? It's Uncle Zed, and he's hurt. We've got to get there as soon as possible. Something terrible has happened, you say in a rush. For the remainder of that day and the following night, you walk with fear, your constant companion. If something has happened to Uncle Zed, the council will never forgive me, you say. Hinoki is strangely silent. Yeah, we got one little paragraph here, but here's the picture of you and the dragon. Mind melding. We'll call it a mind meld since everybody's into Star Trek this month. On the morning of the fifth day, you stand high on a mountain, pass and look upon destruction that can scarcely be imagined. Bald Mountain raises straight up before you, blasted, barren, and black, as though struck by all the lightning in the world. Charred remains of forest cast smoke into the mist. Rocks and boulders lie smashed as though shattered by a giant hammer. In places, the very ground is ripped asunder, with molten rocks bubbling and fuming from the wide cracks. Maybe he's still alive, you whisper as you hurry toward the desolate scene. Following a narrow path, you wind your way up towards an opening in the mountain. Pushing your way past the fallen rubble, you enter a deep cave and rush to the side of a small crumpled figure lying broken on the cold stone floor. Uncle Zed, you cry as you gently turn the figure's face towards you. No, whispers the man, not Zed. Psychus, I was Zed's servant. What happened? Is Zed all right? Is he still alive? You ask urgently. Alive? Yes, he's alive, gasps the man as he gives a choking laugh. What's funny? Where's my uncle? I've come to bring him home. There's going to be a celebration and speeches, and he'll be returned to his place of honor. What's happened to him? Tell me. A terrible grimace crosses the man's face, and his body shakes with silent laughter. So they've forgiven him, have they? Well, I'm afraid it's too late for that. Did they really think he would take his banishment lightly? Not Zed. He used all his magic skill to call upon the powers of darkness to aid him in his revenge. Revenge? What revenge? He's forgiven. You may have forgiven him, but he has not forgiven those who banished him. They will pay dearly for what they did to him, croaked Psychus. What does he plan? Hinoki asked quietly. Shen, gasped Psychus. Shen, the Dragon of Doom? That cannot be possible, you say. Shen is only a myth invented to frighten children. Shen will frighten more than children before it is done, whispers Psychus. It's more than a story. It's real, and it's coming. Zed discovered the spell to call Shen forth. He promised I would be saved. I would have stood at his left hand. I would have been rewarded. But the spell was too strong. I wish I could live to see it. The end of the world. Suddenly, Psychus is seized by a fit of coughing, and as he clutches your arm, he whispers, You'll never catch him in time. You're too late. He's gone north to meet the dragon. And then he dies. Gently, you lower the dead man to the ground. He must have been delirious. Uncle Zed would never do anything awful like that. What was all that nonsense about the Dragon of Doom? You ask as you get to your feet. No nonsense, I'm afraid. Shen is the Dragon of Doom. Wherever and whenever he appears, people die. Not just a few, you understand, but lots and lots of people. Whole nations, and not just people. Animals, birds, reptiles, anything that walks, breathes, swims, or flies. If it's alive, it dies. I thought that was just a story. The council would like to keep it that way. Just a story. A passing dragon told me about Shen once. Shen used to ravage the earth every chance that came along. But finally the council united all the kingdoms and killed all the evil wizards who knew the spell. Then they burned every copy of the spell they could find. They thought it was gone forever, and Shen would sleep for eternity. It appears that your uncle has rediscovered the spell and called Shen back as an instrument of revenge. I think this is all ridiculous, but I suppose we'd better do something. Like what? Asked Hinoki. Before deciding, turn to page 25. Okay. You got the choices there, but they want us to go to page 25. As the great dragon flies, clouds boil black beneath it, and the land quakes and shudders. Mountain peaks that have stood since time began crumble into adjoining valleys. Long dormant volcanoes spout geysers of lava and poison gas into the air. Terrible storms lash the land. The dragon ignores the damage, for Shen is the dragon of doom. It is only fitting that the land should weep at Shen's passing. But Shen notes the cold wind upon scales, grown thin with age, and mourns the loss of his warm, dark cave. Who is this mortal who dares to summon me? Why could he not have left me alone? I do not deserve his sleep. I do not disturb his sleep. Why does he disturb mine? What does he want of me? Wealth? Power? They are all that man ever wants. Forked lightning spews from the dragon's mouth and carves a deep trench in the earth where nothing will grow for 100 years. Slowly, slowly, the great dragon flies over the dark edge of the world into the light of day. As the sun caresses its body, Shen's anger lessens. The warmth touches old wounds and hurts and soothes them. It warms Shen's blood, and for a time, the dragon knows peace. Perhaps I shall listen to him who has summoned me. Perhaps I shall do his bidding and not eat him directly. I shall see. And the dragon of doom flies on. Go back to 18 and make your decision. Your choices are thus. Number 1, well, I think we should go after Uncle Zed and bring him back. Then we'll see how wrong you are. If this is your decision, turn to page 143. Number 2, we don't know where Zed's gone. We might not find him until it's too late. I think we should go back to the council and let them decide what to do. If this is what you decide, turn to page 71. So go after the uncle or go back to the council. Those are our choices. Need a bit to drink here. Hope I got enough. Might have to open another one here. Let me know what you guys want to do. Victor wants to go talk to the council. Give some people some time to throw in their responses. Since we got some people watching now. See what everybody wants to do tonight. Rodini wants to go on. Oh, I hope we get another voter. Otherwise, I'm going to have to decide. I don't want to decide. Okay. Let me get my drink set up here, and then we'll move on. I'll have to make a decision, I guess. Don't know if Voggs is still with us. Okay, looks like we only got the 2 of you wanting to vote, so all right, plead your cases, guys. Victor, why should we go to the council? And Rodina, why should we go on? Let me know here. Ugh. Time I'll put some of this other art up here that I've been looking at today. Been working on some deities, and Monday we did a live stream about our Linharo deities. You see what we got here. Victor says more goodies to help on the quest. And Rodini says we've been begging for a quest. Okay. So, all right, guys, I'll put it to you one more time. Council or go after Zed. Since there's no choice to team up with Shen, flip a coin. I can do that. I don't have a coin, but I do have. Well, that's the same on both sides. That doesn't help. I did have a Highlander coin up here. Yep. Aha. Got a die up here. Let me see. Rodini agrees with the coin toss, so we'll go with best bet I got is one die. Drinking a good Mr. Peep there, huh? I mean Dr. Pepper. Yeah, but I can't do the sugar anymore, and I can't do the diet, so. Welcome to Soren. Gotta have dice? I do, but I was gaming the other day, and it's in on my art table where we were gaming. Wait, you got more voters. This is true. All right, well, Nosarian, if you want to cast a vote, we have a predicament before us. Suppose we were supposed to meet our uncle in this endless quest book, and now it's possible he may have summoned the Dragon of Doom. So if you want to cast a vote for either going on after our uncle and find out if it's true, or do we go back to the council and, as Victor said, get some goodies? No, not Dr. Pee-Pee. So if you'd like to cast a vote, no, sorry, it's a tie right now. Victor wants to go back and to the council, and Rodini wants to go home. What you gonna do? I'm sorry. I mean, I suppose everyone here knows this, but how do you play G.I. Joe RPG? What system do you use? Well, that's a good question, and I actually have my own system that I've been writing for the past month and a half, almost 2 months now. And our first game session will be on the 23rd, Monday night. So we're looking forward to that. I do have the G.I. Joe RPG book from Renegade Studios. I wasn't very fond of the way it played out. It's a beautiful book and it has a lot of cool ideas, but I didn't feel that it was really G.I. Joe, so at least not for me. So decided to make my own game. So if you don't have a choice, I'm going to roll this die and we'll decide. All right, we'll give Nosorian just a couple minutes if he wants to make a choice or not, or we'll move on. And I will roll the die. Yeah, this one has a lot of my numbers rubbed off, but that's why I had it up here. I was going to repaint it. Not very good at painting, so I was going to see what I could do here. But it doesn't look like Nosorian has a vote yet. Maybe he wants to hear some of the story first, so let's roll the die. Well, maybe I should have made the choice before I rolled the die. Roll the die, yes. Nosorian says roll the die. Let's see. Paint it with lead. I shoot it with lead. Okay. All right. So 1 to 3, we go on. 4 to 6, we go back to the council. Does that sound fair, everybody? Okay. That is going to be a 2. So it looks like we're moving on. Okay, Victor says yep. So moving on. So that takes us to page 143. All right, I'm going to keep my finger here because 143 sounds ominously like near the end of the book. I know that's not the way Endless Quest books work, but Rodini says, that's fair. Ha ha. I mean, I meant to rig it, not to blast it. Okay. 143 it is. Okay. I'm going to take a sneak peek. Oh, no, it leads us to more choices. So let's see what we got. I'm tired, you say, as you rub your aching leg muscles. We haven't stopped to sleep or eat for more than 2 days now, ever since we started following this trail to the north. I'm not tired, says Hinoki. Of course not. You've been riding on my shoulder ever since we left home. But I need to stop to eat and get a good night's sleep, or I won't be able to go any farther. Then we can continue on after Uncle Zed. I could use something to eat too, says Hinoki. Why don't I fly ahead and see what I can find? All right, you say as you sink to the floor of the forest. Come back and tell me something good. You rest your head against a large, shaggy tree and watch as the small dragon flaps skyward. Soon images of distant treetops and rolling countryside start to flash through your mind. You see a whitewashed building, thatched with fresh rushes, and a sign blowing in the wind. Hello, Driller and Yelly. We started reading Dragon of Doom. We got a little ways. We're supposed to go find our uncle, and ended up we get told that he released the Dragon of Doom, and we decided to go after him and find out if it's true. How are you doing, sir? Nice to see you here tonight. Okay, so now we've traveled, and our pseudo-dragon familiar is gone ahead and is showing us images of what's up ahead. So I'll read that last paragraph over again. You rest your head against a large shaggy tree and watch as the small dragon flaps skyward. Soon images of distant treetops and rolling countryside start to flash through your mind. You see a whitewashed building thatched with fresh rushes and a sign blowing in the wind. That building looks like it might be an inn. Get a little closer to it so I can see what it is, you direct. I agree with. Hinoki's voice begins inside your head, and then his words break off, and you see the horizon flash by at incredible speed. The forest draws closer and closer, and then branches and leaves flash by in your mind, almost faster than you can see them. You close your eyes and throw your arms up in front of your face, even though you know that you are only seeing what Hinoki sees and cannot be harmed. Suddenly there is a great snap, and the picture fades. Well, everybody saying hi, and good to see you again too, sir. All right. Give me a moment to take another drink here. Hello indeed. Okay. How many times do I have to tell you not to do that to me? You shout as Hinoki drops onto your shoulder. If you're going to do that, break the mind link. You know, I get airsick. I'm sorry, Morgan, I forgot. And what would you have me do? Order a meal at the inn and eat it on a plate with silverware? Quarreling amicably, the two of you continue onward to the building. You saw through Hinoki's eyes. Maybe our luck's going to change, you say, as you look at the sign that shows a roasted duck and a mug of ale. Travelers welcome, reads the sign. The last rays of the setting sun light your way to the front of the door of the inn. The latch gives way beneath your hand, and you see a large whitewashed room. Heavy beams cross the low ceiling, and hanging from each beam are mugs of copper, pewter, and bronze. A hearty fire crackles on the hearth, and the aroma of roast lamb fills the air. May I help you, sir? Asks a small, nervous voice. Oh, there you are, you say, eyeing the haggard man who suddenly appears at your side. I'd like a good dinner and a bed for the night, and some information. Dinner? Bed? Information? Repeats the innkeeper, wringing his hands nervously. What's the matter with this fellow? He's acting very strange, Hinoki's voice says inside your head. Yeah, see, Driller says, I used to go to Gen Con when it was here in Milwaukee. Sucks it's gone away. Yeah, I had always wanted to go, and then they stopped doing it there. Such is life, huh? Let's see. Yes, you repeat. A bed for the night, dinner, and some information. I am looking for my uncle. He's very, very old, and his name is Zed. Perhaps he stopped here. It's the only northbound road leading out of the mountains, and we know he came this way. Before the words are even out of your mouth, the innkeeper is shaking his head from side to side. No beds, he says. We're full up, and we've nothing to eat, not a crumb in the place. And we've never seen your uncle. He's never been here, I'm positive. You'll have to leave now. I was just closing. What are you talking about? You cry angrily. There's not a soul in the place besides us, and I smell roast lamb. And why would you be closing? It's barely nightfall. As for leaving, why? It's starting to rain. I'm cold, tired, and hungry, and I have no desire to sleep in some wet woods where I can stay here. The innkeeper wrings his hands and twitches nervously. Suddenly, a smaller figure, no higher than his shoulder, appears in the doorway behind him. Although the figure's narrow face is covered with smudges of soot and hundreds of freckles, you decide that the creature is a girl. Her head is covered with a tight mat of red gold curls that look as though they have been hacked at with a dull knife. Her clothes are a mismatched mess of patches and wrinkles. Only the brightest blues ever, only the brightest blue eyes you have ever seen, save the girl from looking like a walking ragbag. We will stay here tonight, you say firmly, unseen by the innkeeper. The girl shakes her head from side to side. I am sorry, sir, you should leave, insists the innkeeper. The girl nods in agreement. Her eyes never leave your face. The child seems to be trying to tell us something, says Hinoki's voice. Why don't we do what she says? Sleeping in the woods won't kill us. There's something odd going on around here. So we have our next choice. If you want to follow Hinoki's and the strange girl's advice, turn to page 68. If you insist on staying at the inn, turn to page 123. And they've got a picture of the grizzled innkeeper, who does not seem like he wants us to stay. Very unwelcoming for an innkeeper. So which way do you guys want to go? Got following the girl's advice and Hinoki, or staying at the inn? Victor wants to follow the advice and head out of the tavern, head out of the inn. Driller and Yelly says, stay. We got 2 for the woods. Got some other people watching, but looks like it's just you 3, so that's a good enough for us. So it looks like woods it is. So we're turning to page 68. All right, we already got a picture on this page. It's like we got the pseudo dragon on your shoulder and a cat, and that looks like the girl too. So perhaps some companions. We'll see. Angrily, you stomp out of the inn into the cold and gusty night. Pulling your cloak around you, you manage to find shelter under the branches of a great cedar tree. Sleep is difficult, although the rain cannot get you. The cold wind does, and the ground is cold and hard. Stop complaining, Link Hinoki. Your thoughts are keeping me awake. Then, tucking his head under his wing, he goes to sleep. Suddenly, a small, furry figure leaps upon your leg. You feel sharp claws dig into your flesh. Shrieking with the unexpected pain, you leap to your feet, bumping your head on a cedar branch. Hinoki topples off your shoulder and clutches at you with his range of sharp claws. Meanwhile, the small creature clings to your leg, biting ferociously. You can attack from above and below. Grundoon, don't be naughty, says a soft voice, and then, miraculously, the beast, which you now see as only a large orange cat, is removed from your leg. Scooping up the struggling pseudo-dragon, you part the branches and look out into the eyes of the girl from the inn. You, what are you doing here? Haven't you caused enough trouble for one night? If it weren't for you, I'd be sleeping in a warm bed right now, you sputter. Driller and Yelly says, shoot, gotta run. I'll be back in a little bit. Dad duty calls. Happens a lot. Well, hopefully we'll see you in a bit. You take care if not. Okay. And likely be dead, answers the girl. Yesterday, a strange man, the one you seek, passed through here. He made my master promise that he would prevent anyone from following him. You must leave now. It is not safe, even here. My master is searching for you at this very moment. When he finds you, he will kill you. Well, why should he want to kill me? He doesn't even know me. If he's looking for me, how is it that you could find me and he couldn't? Are you trying to kill us? You ask your hand as your hand tightens about your staff. The old man promised to come back and kill my master if he did not do his bidding. He killed my master's dog just by looking at it. I found you by following your thoughts. You were very, very loud. I don't want to kill you. In fact, I have come to beg you to take me with you. I can follow the old man you seek through his thoughts. I can be of great help. I want to leave here. Please take me with you. Please turn to page 92. Okay. This one leads to more choices too, guys. It's quite simple, Saffron says, noticing your puzzlement. I'm not a witch or anything. It's this medallion. She removes a small metal shaped like a cat with wings from around her neck. My father was a traveling tinker. He bought, sold, traded, and sometimes stole. He gave me this so I could help him with his schemes, like stealing horses and livestock. Where is he now, you ask? Dead. He was caught with 6 cows that weren't his, and they hanged him. I was given to the innkeeper to raise it in exchange for work. Why do you stay? Asks Hinoki. Because I have nowhere else to go. You look at the tiny medallion hanging at the end of the thin chain. Saffron, will you sell me your medallion? Hinoki and I are on a dangerous mission, and your medallion just might make the difference between life and death. Oh, I couldn't, gasped Saffron, as her hand closes protectively around the medallion. It's all I have left of my father. Saffron, why don't you come with us? Links Hinoki. Seeing your startled reaction, the excited pseudo-dragon goes on. Hush, Morgan, let me finish. Saffron, this mission could well affect all mankind. If you don't help us, life might even be worse for you than it is now. Please say you'll come. I wouldn't go anywhere without Grundune, says Saffron. That man-eater, you whisper? Never! The three of you continue your discussion for hours. Grundune sits on Saffron's lap, purring gently through his fangs and eyeing you with suspicion from time to time. At last you give in. Saffron and Grundune will join you. Dawn sees you many miles from the inn, following Zed's trail. What do we do now, you ask as you stare blankly at the road that divides at your feet. Which way did he go? You sit down at the base of a tree and link minds with Hinoki. But although you strain your abilities to the utmost, you are unable to find your uncle on either path. You try, Saffron, you urge, ignoring Grundune, who frolics happily on the grass. Holding her medallion to her forehead, Saffron closes her eyes and concentrates. Nothing, she says at last. I get nothing. Well, then we must make a good guess, says Hinoki. Where do these roads lead, Saffron? The one on the left goes into the Forlorn Mountains. The road on the right goes into the Great Swamp. Both are filled with danger and many roaming monsters. All we can do is pick one. Okay, so we have two choices, guys. If you want to take the trail towards the Forlorn Mountains, turn to page 112. If you want to enter the Great Swamp, turn to page 133. So, mountains or swamp? Victor says mountains. Hopefully Radini says the same or we're going to have a tie. Yep. Okay. Nosarian says mountains. So that's 2 for the mountains. And Radini says mountains. So that's 3. Okay. So 112 it is. But I will put our mulligan marker here. Okay. Well, that's not fair, but we'll read it anyway. As the three of you trudge up into the unfriendly mountains, you wonder if you will find your uncle soon. Surely he cannot be as terrible as Hinoki and Saffron think. Surely it must all be a mistake. No mistake, says Saffron. He kept smiling secretly to himself, and there was something about a dragon. By early afternoon, you have climbed to the top of a tall peak. You are surrounded on all sides by a bleak, desolate landscape. Gray emptiness stretches away in all directions. Nowhere can you find a sign that Zed has been there. Hinoki takes to the air, his wings outstretched to catch the sweeping air currents. You link minds, but nothing stirs beneath your shared gaze other than birds and small animals. Using her medallion, Saffron also casts her mind in all directions, listening, hoping to hear some hint of even the smallest thought. I'm sorry, he says. There's an orc sleeping in a cave not far away, and he's having some rather bloody dreams. But that's all I can find. You have obviously chosen the wrong path. You must retrace your steps and head out into the great swamp. Well, that's what I was saying. That's not really fair. Didn't really give us a choice there, did it? Okay, well, we know the mountains are not the way. So 133 it is. And it leads us to more choices. So, all right. Murky brown water, sucking mud, and tall reeds filled with clouds of whining mosquitoes stretch away into the vast distances of the great swamp. We'll never find our way through this mess, you exclaim angrily. Of course we will. I used to come here every day gathering lotus bulbs, says Saffron as she strides confidently into the swamp. Don't worry, I know the way. You hack at tall weeds with your staff. Somehow it doesn't seem right that you, a graduate magic user, and almost an adult, should be led by a little girl and her man-eating cat. It's downright embarrassing. Morgan, Hinoki links gently, the wise person accepts help when he needs it, from wherever it is offered. And I'm not a little girl, Saffron declares indignantly. If you think you're so wonderful, Mr. Almost Grown-Up Magic User, you can guide us yourself. Can't I think anything without the two of you jumping all over me? The next thing I know, Grundun will be telling me what to do. And what's so hard about guiding? I'll bet I do just fine. And pushing your way to the front, you set off in a new direction. Morgan chides Hinoki, but you do not answer. Saffron follows reluctantly. All day long you trudge from one mound of mud to the next until you are forced to admit that you are hopelessly lost. There we go. Lost in the swamp. It looks like we might have to see a snake. I like the artwork in some of these old Endless Quest books. What do I do now? You groan inwardly as you sink warily down on a tuft of grass. You could come and rescue me, whispers an unknown voice inside your head. Oh, no, not another one, you moan, holding your aching head. It's coming from over there, off to the right, says Hinoki as he spreads his wings and flaps upward. Morgan, come quickly, he urges. Pulling yourself up, you slog through the scummy water towards Hinoki's voice, with Saffron splashing alongside you. As you part a curtain of marsh grass, you see an amazing sight. There, sprawled in the mud, is a great feathered serpent, a coatl. Although you have heard of them, you have never seen one before. Oh, I didn't notice the wings on it. That's kind of cool. Let's see. You know they are extremely powerful, both in magic and in strength. It is hard to imagine one being hurt, yet here one lies before you, sprawled helplessly in the mud. Yeah, there's his little wings down there. If I can put my finger in the right spot. Yeah, there we go. Slipping to the coatl's side, Saffron places a slender arm under its body and cradles its head in her lap. Stroking the dull scale, she asks, Can you tell us what happened? It was done by a magic user, whose soul and mind are black and bent, groans the coatl. I was patrolling the swamp. It is part of the territory I protect. When I felt his thoughts, I challenged him and asked him his purpose and his destination, as is my right. Instead of answering, he attacked me mentally. I was stunned, the coatl goes on, but I have protected myself. And then we fought. I have never met anyone whose strength equaled mine. Indeed, he was stronger. At last he laughed and left me for dead, knowing I was too weak to call for help or fly away. Never in my lifetime have I encountered such strength or felt such evil. You must help me. I must prevent this evil magic user from carrying out his plans. He means to destroy the world. That takes us to another choice, guys. If you want to help the coatl, turn to page 114. If If you're not sure you can help the coatl and think you should push on after Zed, turn to page 67. So help the coatl or push on after Zed. This is a good one. I forgot most of this story. Help the snake. Victor votes to help the snake. Rudini says whom. No, that's not one of those things that make you say whom. Purge the magic user. So we got one for the magic user, one for the snake. Well, Rudini says gotta help. So that's 2 for going and helping the coatl. Okay. It's nice that we got 3 votes. Now we don't have any more ties. All right, so page 114, but I'll keep our mulligan finger in this page here. 114. Okay, cool. We'll help, you say. Saffron, give me your hands. This is what we'll do. Minutes later, you are ready. You sit in the mud next to Saffron, with the coatl lying across both your laps. One silver scales are now a dull gray. Its eyes are closed, and its breathing seems ragged. Somewhat nervously, Hinoki steps off your shoulder and stands on the coatl's back. You and Saffron form a circle around Hinoki, with your hands resting on the coatl, and you place your foreheads against Hinoki's head. Saffron, think of blue skies and soft floating clouds. It's very warm, and you feel very good, you say softly. You are filled with thoughts of power. You can do anything you set your mind to. Now our friend, the coatl scales are growing warm beneath our touch, beneath our love. Our thoughts are going into its own body and carrying our love. The coatl is healing now. Our caring is flowing through its body, healing all the pains. You concentrate as you have never concentrated before. You feel your mind flow through the coatl's body. You are used to Hinoki's mind blending with yours, but the added presence of Saffron gives you power that you have never had before. Just to make sure of success, you return mentally to the coatl's head and think your way through its body a second time, willing it to become healthy. As you open your eyes, the coatl stirs, looking down. You see that its scales now shine brightly, and its feathers are like a shimmering rainbow. Its eyes sparkle with health, and as its tongue flicks in and out, it almost seems to smile. Got a good picture here. Healing the coatl. It's kind of cool. Another mind meld. All right, we'll keep our mulligan page just in case. You have restored my strength. I am forever in your debt. Tell me what I can do for you, and if I have the power, it is yours. We are searching for the same man who attacked you say. He is my uncle. The coatl scans you intently. You are very different from your uncle, it says at last. I have never met him, you admit. But once he was a great and good magician. We are trying to find him and bring him back to the Council of Nine. There is no good left in him, says the coatl. I could tell you his destination. However, he is going to World's End. It is there that he plans his revenge upon the world. World's End, you say? What's that? It is thought to be the end of the world, answers the coatl. A strange place indeed. I do not venture there often. It is full of volcanoes and swirling mist. The sun never shines, and monsters roam freely. It is not a place for lawful folks to be. Still, that is where we must go. I will seek help, says the coatl. I do not think you should go there, but if you must, I will bring help and follow as soon as possible. Please turn to page 53. All right. If I see that we got more choices, I'll get rid of my mulligan page, and we do. All right. The rest of the day passes without incident. and evening finds you deep within the heart of the swamp. I think we should stop here for the evening, you say, and though your muscles ache, you gather dry twigs and grasses and build a fire. Grateful for its warmth, you sink down on a moss-covered log. The log settles under your weight, and you sit warily with your head in your hands. Beneath you, you feel the log move again. Just as you are beginning to wonder why, you notice that there is a long, snaky vine wrapped around your ankle. As you reach down to take it off, another vine slithers out of the ooze and wraps itself around your other leg. Great, now I'm being attacked by vines, you say with a sigh. As you try to untangle it, you slip your hand under the vine, and suddenly it tightens. You find it impossible to withdraw your hand. You feel terribly silly, sitting all bent over, wrapped in vines. As you sit tugging at your hand, trying to figure out what to do, something soft but heavy clouts you on the head, and the world spins before your eyes. Help, you cry. Silly or not, you need someone to come to your aid. This guy gets knocked out a lot, doesn't he? It's a shambler, shrieks Saffron as she rushes in carrying a load of firewood. Do something, Morgan. What do you mean, do something? A vegetable is trying to eat me, and you say, do something? You do something. There's our picture on this one. Looks like we got a shambling mound, yes. Shambling mounds aren't vegetables, Saffron sniffs as she whacks the log with a stout stick. They only look like logs, but they're alive, and they can think, and they can kill you. Don't give me a lecture, just help me. Ouch, watch out, you just hit me. Okay, we got 3 choices. Like Glass Joe. Yep. He goes down pretty quick. You just got to get that rocket in. You have a TPI. Okay. Here's your choices. You say, Saffron says, I'll kill it with my knife as she draws a glistening blade. Turn to page 129. Fire! Try to burn it up, shouts Hinoki. Turn to page 110. Wait, let me try a charm plant spell, you cry. Turn to page 124. So we have 3 choices this time. We got kill it with a knife. Saffron has a blade. Burn it up, says Hinoki. Or you can try to charm it with a plant spell. What say you, my friends? Charm plants. Okay, we got one for charm plants. Okay, lots of choices on this one. Good. It's a good mulligan page. Okay, Radini wants magic. So I'm guessing that means charm the plants. So we got 2 for charm the plants. If you're in agree with that, Nosorian, then either comment or not. Okay. Looks like we're charming the plants. Page 124. I like how this one goes all over the place. It's not as predictable as some of the others. I remember if you went to that last page, man, it was over for sure. Not this one. Okay, closing your eyes tightly to the horror that unfolds you, you picture the words of the spell in your old textbook. Concentrating on the words, you speak them aloud. Instantly, you feel Hinoki's familiar mental nudge and Saffron's soft touch as their minds lend you strength. The spell bursts from your mind and seems to explode around you. Slowly, the vines unwind, and you roll free and fall upon the ground, gasping for breath. Go away, mound, and never come back, you whisper hoarsely. Without a sound, the heap of rotting vegetation lumbers into the swamp and disappears. Maybe I should read that one a little differently. Go away, mound, and never come back. Are you all right, Morgan? Asked Hinoki as he perches on your chest and peers into your face. I was concerned. No more than I was, I'm sure, old friend, you say as you sit up slowly. A close check of your campsite discloses nothing else of danger, and your small party finally settles back to spend a quiet night in the swamp. Your life and your quest end here. Scariest words in genre. This is true, but not this time, Victor. All right, so turn to page 58. Okay. It's just past our mulligan page. Let me see if this one's got choices. Then it does. We will have a new mulligan page. Genre. Yes, sir. No genre. Keeping a sharp eye out for shambling mounds or any other monsters. You get an early start and soon find yourself winding deeper and deeper into the gloomy swamp, now covered by a thick layer of mist. Grundoon! No! Grundoon, come back! Screams Saffron suddenly. You see an orange blur, and the cat leaps onto a mud bank and disappears in a swirl of mist. The Saurian says, yeah! Okay. Please, help me catch him, sobbed Saffron. How? I can barely see my hand in front of my face in this fog. Besides, I don't think he wants to be caught. He jumped of his own accord. Let him stay here. Please don't leave him. I've had him since he was a little kitten, and he means a lot to me, begged Saffron. All right, you sigh. I know I'll regret this, but I'll do it. Slogging through the misty gloom, you call, Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, Grundoon. Meow, meow, meow. He's over there, off to the left, you call, changing direction. Meow. Grundoon, hurry, Morgan. Something's happened, cries Saffron. Blasted cat, serve it right if something ate it, you mutter as you trudge through the knee-high water. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. There you are, you little cannibal. Why are you all fluffed up like that? I'm going to hurt you, you say. This guy doesn't like cats, does he? As you slide your hand under Grundoon's stomach, the cat gives a wild shriek, races up your arm, and tries to burrow under Hanoki. Now you've done it. Look, I'm bleeding, you say as you hold up your scratched hand. Suddenly something moves. Perhaps it was the mist, or maybe your eyes are playing tricks on you. But it seemed that you saw something big. It was no trick. I saw it too, Link Hanoki. Try moving away quietly. Maybe it hasn't seen us yet. Whatever it is. Morgan, Grundoon, called Saffron. Oh, there you are, Morgan. Excuse me. Have you found him? Saffron asked breathlessly. Oh, you have. Grundoon, you are so bad. And reaching over, she draws the cat toward her, ignoring its angry scowls and wildly flailing claws. Clutching your scratched neck, you open your mouth to speak, but your mouth remains open and you say nothing. Morgan, why are you staring like that? You really look silly. But you do not answer. All you can do is stare upward at the enormous reptilian head staring down at you through the mist. Then even as you notice the tiny cold eyes and the mouth full of sharp teeth gaping toward you, you see yet another head, and another, and another. Morgan, it's a Hydra, Link Hanoki excitedly. What are you two talking about? Asked Saffron as she struggles with the panic-stricken cat. Oh, she gasps as she looks up. I see. Gathering your courage, you make your decision and say, maybe I can fight it, if that is what you will decide. Turn to page 140. Maybe it hasn't seen us yet, and we can run away. If this is your decision, turn to page 77. Maybe I can use Zed's Ring of Wishes. If you want to use the ring, turn to page 97. Maybe I can trick it. If you think you can trick the Hydra, turn to page 48. And Victor says, Hail Hydra. One of the best Captain America lines ever. Just leans over Wizard. Hail Hydra. Okay. If you want to fight, let me know. If you want to run away, sound off. If you want to use the Ring of Wishes, we can do that. Or you can try to trick it. 4 choices, guys. What are we going to do? Rodini wants to trick it. Oh, looks like we got 2 for trick it. Okay. Well, even if it's just the 3 of us, then 2 is good enough. So this is our new mulligan page. It looks like we're going to page 48. All right. Quick, Saffron, give me your food sack, you whisper as you clutch your bag of rations. Why? Asks Saffron as she passes you the bag. The Hydra's hungry. It doesn't care what it eats. Maybe it'll settle for this instead of us. You pull out a large round of cheese and throw it into the air, directly in front of the Hydra's head, hovering above you. The Hydra watches the cheese until it reaches its highest point, then plucks it out of the air and swallows it whole. It might work, whispers Hinoki. Try the same thing on some of the other heads. Putting all your power into the throw, you arc a smoked ham just past the nearest Hydra head. The Hydra snaps wildly at the ham but misses. Roaring angrily, it goes after the ham, stuffing in the water where it sank. Two of the other heads join the first head in the search. Soon, the three heads are fighting among themselves, snatching and tearing at the hunk of meat. Two of its remaining heads seem to have decided that you are probably tastier than the ham and are approaching rapidly. The last head snaps futilely at Hinoki, who hovers just out of its reach. Scrambling to your knees, you grab Saffron's hand tightly and then throw 2 cheeses and a loaf of black bread off to one side. Instantly, the 2 heads that were advancing towards you dive for the food, jerking the other heads with them. As fast as you are able, you slosh off into the swamp, away from the terrible 6-headed monster. As you round a small clump of trees, you steal one last backward glance. All 6 heads of the Hydra are snarling and snapping at each other as they fight over the food. I never thought we'd get out of that alive, Saffron sighs, wiping her eyes. Knees shaking, you sink down on a mud bank and nod in agreement. Please turn to page 32. Let's see. Quick cat nachos. All right. So 32. And this one has us turning to 35. Where we have a picture. And quite a bit of reading. So I'll hang on to the mulligan. I don't see any choices just yet. I am wary, the mighty Shen thinks as it forces its great wings to lift for yet another beat. I am tired of man and his petty battles. His greed for gems and other treasures is not for the beauty they contain, but for his own selfish interest. Man knows nothing of the secrets contained in the heart of a ruby, the mind of an emerald, or the eye of a sapphire. He is too busy killing and destroying. Rudini says, we could have thrown the cat. Victor agrees. I do too. Morgan doesn't really like that cat, does he? Perhaps man has been a mistake. Maybe it is best that he disappear from the face of the earth once and for all. Then dragons and other creatures of beauty may live in peace. I will answer the summons. Perhaps I am wrong. Perhaps man is not all bad. I will decide what must be done and when I get there. And the great dragon flies on through its wing, though its wings ache with the effort, and it longs for its beauty, its beautiful warm cave. Far below the clouds boil and spew, hot rain that weeps upon the cowering earth. Soon trees and grasslands give way to empty lands where there is nothing but rocks. The air grows hot and far below. The dragon sees a sea of lava lapping at the land. Ah, the end of the world, sighs the dragon, and it begins to descend. Okay. I love cats, says Victor, but that cat would have been a frisbee. Me too, buddy. I agree. And then we have same. All right, so we're all in agreement on it. I don't know if I like Grundune much. We get to go to page 35 here and continue reading. It seems as if you have been walking forever. The swamp is now far behind you, and a thick mist wraps itself around you. From time to time, you feel the ground rumble beneath you. Jets of hot gas fill the air with the stench of hot metal. I don't like the looks of this, Saffron says, trembling. Neither do I, but we have to go on. I'm sure Zed's not far from here. Hinoki, let's try scanning and see if we can find him. Saffron can help us, and we'll be able to see even better. How do you do this scanning? Asked Saffron, moving to your side. It's similar to what we did when we healed the koala. Just fix your thoughts on Hinoki, and you can see whatever he sees. You both sit down on a rock outcrop and look at the pseudo dragon. Now cast your mind into his. Become one with him. Gently, like remembering a favorite daydream, you slip into Hinoki's mind. Suddenly, you are viewing yourself sitting on the rock through Hinoki's eyes. It feels weird, sort of like I'm sleeping or dreaming, Saffron says. Spreading his wings, Hinoki flaps up into the mist, and you see your body grow small. I'm getting dizzy, gulped Saffron. It does that to me too. You try not to think about it. It's okay unless he dives suddenly. Will you look at that? Below your view, the mist swirl, as though directed by a million currents. Plumes of steam burst from the ground, here and there. Geysers of molten rocks spew into the air. I don't see how we'll find anybody here, links Hinoki. An army could hide in those mists and we wouldn't see them. Saffron, let's try listening for Zed. Maybe we can hear his thoughts, even if we can't see him. With 3 of us, we ought to have a pretty good range. As the frightening landscape slides beneath you, you search off to Hinoki's left and feel nothing. You repeat the process straight ahead, again without success. Finally, as you focus to Hinoki's right, a dry, cracked voice slides into your mind. Concentrating deeply, you find you can make out snatches of words. Should be here soon. No hill will grant my wish. Cannot refuse me. All the treasure in the world. All my enemies dead. The hour approaches. Revenge will be mine. I'll teach them to. Eh? Who's there? Abruptly, the voice disappears as though it never existed. Get down, you tell Hinoki. Get down, you yell. And Hinoki drops like a stone as a blue bolt of energy sizzles through the air and explodes above him. What was that? Gasped Saffron. A mind missile, a really high-level spell the magic users can use against anyone who tries to probe their minds. I was afraid he'd do that. Well, now we know he's here. Unfortunately, he knows we're here too. And from what he said, there isn't too much time. We got us another picture here. It's kind of interesting how that could be a close-up of Hinoki dodging the magic. The mind missile. Yeah, that's what's going on here. All right. All day long, you push on through the frightening landscape. The smoke and heat and fiery explosions seem to be getting worse. The ground continues to shake almost without pause. Stop, commands Hinoki. There's nothing in front of us but air. Dropping to your knees, you place your hands on the hot ground and slowly crawl forward, peering into the billowing black smoke. Do you see anything, Morgan? Saffron asked. Before you can answer, the ground gives way abruptly beneath your probing fingers, and you fall flat on your face. As you lie with your cheek pressed against the burning earth, the smoke parts for a second, and you see an amazing sight. Before you lies an immense hole in the earth, deeper and wider than you can guess. It stretches off into the distance. Directly beneath you, you spot a narrow ledge that leads down into the dizzying depths. Far, far below, you see an orange glow. Through narrowed eyes, you are able to make out a narrow path leading through the burning landscape toward what appears to be a flat-topped rock rising out of the pit. Crawling back from the edge of the pit, you report what you have seen. Do you think that's where Zed is headed? Asked Saffron with a shiver. I'm sure of it, as much as I'd like to believe otherwise. In my heart, I know that's where he's going. We'll be right behind him. She's staring into the pit. Hello, Trev, the shipping guru. I thought you were meaning something else, but I'm pretty sure you're trying to say hello. But it could just be hell. Because that's kind of where we're at in the middle of this book, looking into the pits of hell. What is your plan, Morgan? Links Hinoki. I think we should leave, says Saffron. I don't want any part of this. I have a mission, Saffron. I can't stop now, and neither can you. You'd never find your way out of here alone, and besides, unless we stop Zed, there might not even be a world left for you to return to. You don't know that for sure, Saffron says fearfully. No, I don't know. I know I don't, you answer, but I have a pretty good idea, and so do you. And Trev says hello to Rudini, and my mom has found a mess in our kitchen, and my son is getting an earful. So, sorry about that, guys. I did ask him to clean it up, but he didn't listen, so that's what he's going to get. Okay. Oh, let me see. She says, no, I don't, you answer, but I have a pretty good idea, and so do you. Saffron, Link Sanoki. Zed is much more powerful than we are. Alone, we have little or no chance of success. The only people who are strong enough to stop him are far from here. If the world is to be saved, I'm afraid we'll have to do it together. I can't promise we'll live through it, but we must try, and you must help us. But I'm frightened, whispers Saffron. Besides, the world has never done anything good for me. You can't blame the world for the misfortunes that your life has dealt you, Link Sanoki. It owes you nothing. You have given the precious gift. You have been given the precious gift of life, and that is all that anyone can ask. It is up to you what you make of your life. Don't waste it blaming others for your problems. If you want something, you must make it happen yourself. You can count on no one but yourself in the long run. If that's true, why should I help you? Asked Saffron, confused. Because some things are more important than self. This is one of them. And also because we're your friends and we need you, you add. I'll come, Saffron says, looking ashamed. I have nothing to go back to. You're my only friends besides Grandoon. What do you want me to do? I don't have much experience with this end of the world stuff. Neither do I. We'll just have to take it a step at a time, you answer. You better put that cat of yours in your backpack, or he'll just be in the way. Carefully, you scout the edge of the inferno. Taking a deep breath, you lead the way down the trail that snakes its way down the inside face of the cauldron in a snarl of sharp rocks. You see Saffron tremble as she clings to the rough rock. Your stomach heaves as you look down at the boiling mass below you, and words of comfort die on your lips. I'll scan ahead, so you know what to expect, Link Sanoki. And with a rush of wings, he's gone. Fearfully, you enter his mind and watch as the path unfolds before you. Hot currents buffet the small dragon, flinging him up and down and threatening to crush him against the wall. Slowly you progress, clutching Saffron's hand as though it were a lifeline. Foot by dangerous foot, you inch your way down the treacherous trail. As you descend, the heat steadily grows more intense. Finally, you are able to see the floor of the inferno all too clearly. Fear fills you as you realize that the red glow is molten lava, seething restlessly under a thin crust. As you watch, the surface heaves up and down as though swelled by a great tide. At long last, you reach the bottom of the trail. From close up, the vast sea of molten lava is even more terrifying than it was at a distance. Hissing and steaming constantly, it flings itself against the cliff, like waves upon the shore. Your destination, the rock island you saw from above, is lost from sight in the rising steam of the inferno. Where do we go from here? Saffron asked in a small voice. I see rocks over to the left, Link Sanoki, and I see what could be a trail leading to the island. It looks dangerous, but I think you can do it. Through his eyes, you see the rocks narrow and drenched with lava spray, stretching off into the distance. Morgan, I don't think I can do it. What if I slip? What if we fall? Saffron says. It's no good thinking about it, Saffron. It's not going to get any better. Clutching her hand in yours, you make your way down the final stretch. Despite the intense heat, you take your cloak out of your pack and put it on. Put yours on too, Saffron. If the spray hits you, the cloak might protect you. Finally reaching the bottom of the pit, you step gingerly out onto the first stone. It burns the soles of your feet, but you find that if you keep moving, the heat is bearable. Just as you begin to feel you feel that crossing the lava pool may be easier than you thought, Hinoki's voice burst inside your mind. Look there! Watch out, Morgan! Images flood your mind, and you are able to see through Hinoki's eyes as an enormous lava bubble swells above the surface, just a short distance from where you stand. Run! Screams Hinoki as the bubble grows larger and larger. Pushing Saffron before you, you turn around and race back over the stepping stones. Reaching the edge of the pool, you fling yourself behind an outcropping of rocks, just as the now enormous bubble bursts, showering the nearby rocks with molten lava. Grundun, trapped inside Saffron's backpack, yowls in fear and claws frantically at the stiff material. Do you really think we can do it? Asked Saffron, poking her finger through a charred hole in her cloak. We've got to, you say. Please turn to page 23. Wow, this is pretty intense. I'm liking this. All right. Looks like we got another choice come up, so we're going to have a new mulligan. All right, we got a picture here. Little spew of lava hitting the cloak. Okay, look, Morgan, wait, watch for a minute. There seems to be a pattern to the bubbling, says the little dragon. And through his steady gaze, you watch as another bubble grows larger and larger and bursts. You continue to watch as bubble after bubble swells and bursts. If we time our approach right, we could probably get through, you murmur. And once more, you and Saffron edge your way out onto the frightening path. Crouching low, the bottoms of your feet growing hotter and hotter, you wait until the next bubble bursts and then race across the rocks. Just as you reach the far end, Saffron slips and teeters back and forth, trying to catch her balance. You hesitate to touch her for fear of upsetting her balance completely, and you stop breathing until she regains her footing and stands firmly on the rock once again. Although her face is white and pale, she glares at you and says, "Don't just stand there, move!" In a very short time, you reach the foot of the island. Relief turns to puzzlement as you stare at the sheer black rock that rises straight up out of the sea of lava. Although the path ends at its base, there does not seem to be any way up the slick surface. What do we do now, you wonder aloud? Whatever it is, we'll have to do it fast, thinks Hinoki. The lava seems to be getting closer. It's like a tide. It's rising. Look, says Saffron. Turning to glance down at the long skirt she holds out for your inspection. That's a skirt. Yep. To your horror, you see the edge is singed and steaming. Following her pointing finger, you see the lava is now nearly at the top of the rock you are standing on. Several rocks are completely buried under the molten mass. It is obvious that the level is rising steadily. Okay, you got a couple of choices here, guys. Maybe there's still another wish in Zed's ring. We could try to use that. Turn to page 27. Much as I hate it, I could use the spider climb spell. Turn to page 33. So wish or spider climb spell. Those are our options, guys. And our new mulligan page. Yeah, I kind of like this. Ultra. Everybody's saying hi. That's good. All right, so what we got, guys? Spider climb spell. Or use the ring of wishes. I don't think we used any wishes. No, Victor. Okay, Victor's asking if we used wishes. I don't think we did. He doesn't even know if there's any wishes left, it sounds like. Renini wants to climb. Victor says climb. All right. Looks like we're climbing. Unless we have any naysayers. Okay, so use the spider climb spell. Turn to page 33. All right. That one has us turning pretty quick to another page, which I'll mark real quick. Wow, this one has heading towards more choices already. So we're going to have a new mulligan page. Save the wishes. I always like to save wishes, but you can't take them with you. You got that right, Radini. Victor says save the wishes. And the Soren wanted a spider climb, but I think we did that. Okay, so like wish for rocket launcher or Gundam. Yes, definitely a Gundam in this situation. I'm not so sure about the rocket launcher, but here we go. I always hated this spell you say, pulling out a tiny vial in a small round box. Can anybody guess what's in the box? I know what's there. Why? Asks Saffron as she stands on tiptoe and looks anxiously at the rising lava. Shuddering, you uncork the vial and drink the potion it contains. Then, fighting a surge of distaste, you take the lid off the box, reach inside, grab the wriggling spider it contains, and swallow the spider whole. Yep, you guessed it too, didn't you, Radini? What's in the box? What's in the box? Yes, indeed. If you want to eat a spider, you do it, you choke. It's all I can do just to swallow the cursed thing. Okay, let's see. You're not supposed to swallow it, lectures Hinoki. You're supposed to eat it. He says, if you want to eat a spider, you do it. You choke. It's all I can do just to swallow the cursed thing. I hate doing that. Just imagine how they feel, says Hinoki. I can't believe you just did that, says Saffron, staring at you with her big blue eyes. Good grief, she sighed. It's bad enough having to do this without your comments, Saffron. Unless you want to turn into a cinder, get over here and put your arms around my neck. Why? Saffron asked suspiciously. Because it's the only way we're going to get out of here alive. With a last look at the rapidly advancing lava, Saffron picks up her skirts, moves over beside you, and wraps both arms around your neck. Don't let go. Whatever you do, you cautioned. Then turning to the glassy rock face, you place both hands and a foot upon the slick surface. You feel the slippery surface taking on a new character under your sensitive fingertips. Tiny cracks and crevices you cannot even see reveal themselves to your feet and hands. And surely, as if you were walking on a level surface, you scramble up the side of the cliff. Hinoki circles above you, lending encouragement, but Saffron hangs from your throat, threatening to pull you from your hold by her weight. To make matters worse, Grundun, back inside the Saffron's pack again, keeps bumping your legs, threatening to trip you. Put your arms around my shoulders, not my neck, you croak as your breath grows short. Abruptly, the pressure eases as Saffron transfers her grip to your shoulders and wraps her legs around your waist. With great relief, you would quickly scramble the rest of the way up the side of the cliff and finally crawl over the edge. With a deep sigh, you collapse on the flat surface and try to regain your breath. Turn to 118. Yep, I thought it was funny too, Victor. What's in the box? Curiously, you look around you. The island is larger than it appeared at first, made entirely of the glassy black smoke. It seems to harbor no life of any sort. They still have the ablative cat armor. Yes, sir, they do. All right. Where is Zed? Asked Saffron. I thought he'd be up here. I don't know, but the island's bigger than it looks. Maybe there's something we can't see. Hinoki, you take the right side of the island. Saffron and I will take the left side. Holler if you see anything. Saffron, you try to for an ESP detect, just in case he's hidden. Morgan, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag if you don't mind. He's going crazy in there, and he can't hurt anything up here. All right, you say reluctantly as Saffron opens the bag and shakes out a very angry Grundun. And speaking of kitties, Luna has decided to join this little party here. Hello, you. Interesting timing, huh? Okay. To your surprise, instead of attacking you or doing something equally dreadful, the cat sits on Saffron's feet and starts to groom itself, as though nothing had happened. Come on, Saffron, let's get going. Use your amulet as we walk and see if you can pick up any stray thoughts. The two of you walk around the edges of the black grass island without seeing anything. The edges fall straight into the ocean of lava, which crashes above the sheer walls below. Above there is nothing but the empty sky with heavy clouds reflecting the angry Red Sea below. Let's see. The island's bigger on the inside. TARDIS Island. Oh, Luna, yes. They're saying hi to you, too. She heard us talking shit about the orange cat. Yeah, I'm guessing that's true. Okay, let us continue. Oh, okay. Morgan, I can't find anything with the amulet. I don't think there's anyone but us up here. I don't... And the walls are so steep. I don't see how anyone could be hiding down there. Grundun, why are you acting like that? Stop it, you silly cat. Grundun is crouched at your feet, his back arched like a drawn bow, with every hair on his body standing stiffly upright. Taking tiny, mincing steps, he growls deep in his throat and hisses menacingly. What's your crazy cat up to now, you sigh, as Grundun presses himself firmly against your leg. I don't know, says Saffron. He usually only does that when he's scared of something, but I haven't seen anything to be afraid of. What a fool I've been, you cry, clapping a hand to your head. Saffron, just because we don't see anything doesn't mean it's not here. Zed is a high-level magic user. He could hide himself with any number of spells, and we'd never be able to detect him. You mean he could be 2 feet away from us and we wouldn't even know, whispers Saffron. Sure, but you don't have to whisper. I'm sure he's not that close. Oh, Grundun, quit crowding me, you say impatiently, giving the cat a shove with your leg. Without really meaning to, you use too much strength. Grundun flies through the air and then slams into something in mid-flight. Yowling horribly, he stretches his long, sharp claws and tries to save himself from falling. We were talking about throwing this cat, but we booted it instead. A muffled curse comes from nowhere, and before your startled eyes, a hand clutches Grundun's neck. A hand that is soon joined by the rest of a body. I'm guessing he's about to yeet it too. Victor says yeet. You stare silently at the small, wrinkled figure standing before you, glowering with hatred. Uncle Zed? I am no one's uncle, sneers the old man. You are nothing to me. But you mean something to me, you say respectfully, and quickly you tell your uncle of your mission. Long have I thought of you, you add. You were my guiding light when I was a small boy. I never tired of hearing the stories of your marvelous deeds. I yearn to be as great a magic user as you when I grow up. What use have I for goodness and light? Only weaklings have need for them. All that is powerful, all that is important in life is evil. I have pledged my life to serving evil, and now I will reap its rewards. If you are truly my nephew, I offer you the chance to join me. We alone will live, while the rest of the world dies. If you are not with me, you are against me, and you can die along with the rest. What say you? Darth Uncle, yeah. And Zed's dead, baby. Yeah. Zed's dead, baby. Okay, here we go. You look around, dazed. Saffron stands frozen, clasping Grundun to her chest. Her red hair blows wildly about her frightened face. Her eyes blue and clear in the strange light reflected from the sky. What about Saffron, you cry over the rising wind. The girl doesn't matter. No one matters. You will die along with the rest. You must decide. Zed dead redemption. Yes, sir. Okay. You must decide quickly. Give me your answer. The hour is at hand. The dragon of doom approaches. The sky is filled with jagged flashes of lightning, and the clouds churn madly, glowing orange and yellow and green. Below the cliffs, you hear the crash of the lava cascading against the black walls. The wind whistles past your ears, keening a song of madness. Decide, screams your uncle. Vote for no sausage party with uncle. Yes, sir, Victor. I couldn't agree more. But you got three choices. You can say, I will do it. I will cast my fate with yours. If this is your decision, turn to 52. Number two, I cannot do as you ask, nor can I believe that anyone can hate the world so much. It's not too late to change your mind and return with me. If this is what you choose, tell your uncle. Turn to page 131. I would like to do as you ask, you say, stalling desperately for time, but I'm confused. May I consult my pseudo-dragon? If this is your choice, turn to 79. So, join him, say nay, or talk to the pseudo-dragon. Wish his butt into the lava. So, is that a nay, sir? What's our choice? What's your choice, guys? This one's turned out to be a lot more fun than the light on the Quest Mountain. Okay. Wish his butt into the lava. I'm gonna put that back up there, sir. That's some funniness. That's what I want to do too, but they didn't. Using the ring isn't an option. Might be dangerous to use his own ring against him, but if it's a ring of wishing, it shouldn't matter. Not one of our choices, though. So, Dragon Lifeline. You want to talk to the pseudo dragon? They're still good in you, I know it. So you want to try to talk to him, huh? You want him to try to return to you. So we got two different choices. All right. There's other people watching if they want to wish the dragon gone. If we had a wish, I agree with all the laughing. Yes. Okay. So. I think we all agree that we want to wish him into the lava, but they don't give us that option. So we want one of you Renita wants to talk to him, and Victor wants to talk to the pseudo dragons. So I'll give you guys a moment to either change a vote or get another vote, or I'm going to have to roll the die again. It looks like only you two are making the choices tonight, which is great with me. But I'm willing to bet we're pretty close to the end, guys. If you're talking about the pseudo dragon, I believe his name is Hokini, but close enough. Ichiban. I like that. Okay. So, unless there's no naysayers, it looks like we're going to consult with the pseudo dragon. Ichiban is a good name for a familiar, Victor says. Yes, it is. That actually would be a really good name for a familiar. All right, so I guess we're going to leave this as our new mulligan page. Turn to 79. Okay, Hinoki. Yeah, that's his name. First word on this page. Hinoki, what shall I do? You link frantically. Do just what you are doing now, answers Hinoki as he presses his small silver body close to you. Stall for time. It's our only hope. Saffron, are you with us? Yes, whispers a small voice. Edging closer to the terrified girl, you clasp her small cold hand and link. Try to be brave. I'll do the best I can. Trust me. And above all, do what I tell you. Turning her incredible blue eyes on you, Saffron nods her understanding. Oh, no, sorry, it wanted me to roll the die. I think you might have a pretty good delay, but we had 2 for talking to the pseudo dragon, so that's what we're doing. I'm I'm live, sir.
Yeah, I know. I need to grab some stuff.
Oh, grab something. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's see. Where were we? She nodded her understanding. Zed's wild laughter breaks the silent bond. Turning, you notice that the sky has grown darker. Lifting your head into the wild winds, that wail around you, you see a huge shape hovering above you, blotting out the sky. Lightning illuminates the sky, and you see the sea of lava hurling itself at the cliffs, bursting below the edge of the island and flinging molten lava at your feet. It comes! It comes! Zed screams madly. Rodini says, talking to Ichiban is like rolling the die, but no Saurian said, yeah, already. Saffron, whatever you do, don't look. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Ichiban-san. Okay. With a majesty awesome to behold, the giant black dragon flaps its wings in the storm-battered sky and slowly descends. To your wondering eyes, it seems larger than any creature you have ever known or even imagined. The great feet settle upon the ground in front of Zed, and the island seems to tremble. As though through a fog, you see the massive overlapping scales, each as large as your head. Vaguely you notice the missing scales and the dry, withered skin in their place. Ragged filaments. Always want to talk to you. Ragged filaments between the great wing bones. We have a full-page piece of art. Here we go. Got that as good as I can there. Looks like Zed's reaching up for the dragon. Lifting your eyes to its face, you see long streaming tendrils, streaked with gray, trailing from its crest. The black silver flecked eyes, to your amazement, seem to reflect wariness. Yes, sweet. Here we go. Looks like we're about to the end here, guys. Who has dared to call my name, to utter the long-forgotten words that have called forth the dragon of doom? Speak, roars the dragon. Black smoke bellows from its nostrils and hides it momentarily from your view. It is I who called you. I, Zed of the Council of Nine, have summoned you. And what would you ask of me, O great Zed of the Council of Nine? Mocks the dragon. I call upon you to erase man from the face of the earth forever. And why should I do such a thing, great Zed? Asked the dragon coldly. Why? Why? Splutters Zed. You are not to question me. You are to do as I command. Do as you command. Who are you to command me? Hisses the dragon, coiling ponderously and breathing tiny licking flames from its nostrils. So like an early Thanos. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. It is written in this book, quavers Zed for the first time, sounding uncertain as he shuffles pages rapidly. Do you expect me to obey a mere book? Little squiggles scrawled upon a piece of paper? Roars the dragon, and a spray of acid shoots from its jaws, melting the book to nothing. Dollar store Thanos. Yes, sir. Drawing himself up to his full height, Zed throws his cloak over his shoulder haughtily and says, I have spoken the magic words. I have summoned you, and now I command you. Go forth and destroy mankind. You may keep all the treasure you may find. It is a fair and just trade. And what of your companions? Murmurs the dragon, laying its great muzzle down on its clawed feet and staring at you intently all the while. Do they command me as well? yeah, yeah, I noticed that too. Shen got multiple breath weapons. This is my nephew Morgan. My wishes are his as well, Zed says harshly, shooting you a look of warning. Let him speak for himself, thunders the dragon. Then turning its gaze back to you, it says more softly, Come closer, young Morgan. Speak to me. Although your legs are shaking, so, you feel you cannot stand. You approach the dragon bravely. Closer, whispers the dragon, flicking out its long red forked tongue. My eyes are no longer the keen eyes of youth. Victor says, with his gauntlet of snapping. Wondering if each step will be your last, you walk closer and closer, halting only a few scant feet from the great claws. Closer still, whispers the dragon. Climbing over the immense scaled feet, you find yourself looking directly into the dragon's black mirror-like eyes. Sit, boy. Talk to me, murmurs the dragon, its hot breath steaming about you. What should I talk about? You stammer nervously. Tell me, boy, do you share your uncle's hatred for the world? Is it also your wish that I should destroy all mankind? Shall I start with your friends here? Glancing at Saffron, who stands stiff with fear at the edge of the cliff, holding Grundoon tightly in her arms, you force yourself to remain calm. No, O great dragon, I do not share my uncle's beliefs. I have no quarrel with the world, and I would not have called you forth. What would you have done with me? Whispers the dragon, a dangerous red gleam flickering in the depths of his eyes. I would have left you alone, as deserves a dragon of your magnificence. You have served mankind for countless ages, and now I believe you need serve no one but yourself. Perhaps I would enjoy destroying mankind and reaping new treasures, says the dragon. Then you must do so because you choose to, and not because you have been ordered to do so. It must be your decision. Behind you, excuse me, Zed gives a cry of rage, but the dragon flicks its great tail threateningly, and Zed grows silent. You're wise for a mere man-child. Perhaps the world has become more intelligent in my absence. Or did you have something to do with this, my small cousin? I have tried, Great One. I have been training him since birth, says Hinoki, but I think he has promise on his own. And the girl is rather exceptional, although she has a strange fondness for the orange monster she carries. Rudini says, yep, burn it all. I should call this the cat orange monster. I like it. All right. For a long, long moment, the dragon examines you closely. Then, like a soft wind rustling in the leaves, its mind enters yours, then slowly withdraws. Morgan, son of man, I wish you to return to the world and carry a message from Shen, the mighty dragon of doom. I will do your bidding, O great Shen. Tell them I am no longer theirs to command. Tell them that I have vanished from their world and have taken with me the last person alive who knew the words that would summon me forth. Wait, screams Zed, but the dragon wraps its long tail about him and continues. This is not to mean that I will no longer appear. Deeds of great evil will still waken me from my sleep. And then once more I will fly above your world, and mountains will tremble and skies will weep. Whenever destruction and death walks the land, you will know that I am abroad, and you will be warned. then you must seek to repair the wrongs that have been wrought to or incur my wrath. Why are you doing this? You are the dragon of doom, protests Zed. I am old. I have seen much death and destruction. I have all the treasure a dragon could ever need. All I wish is to sleep and be warm and dream of past glories. But if the evil of the world should ever outweigh its goodness, I shall appear and restore the balance. That is my message. Will you remember it? Yes, sir, you answer faintly. Good. Take this with you. And reaching up, the dragon plucks out one of its long, silvery tendrils out of its crest and hands it to you. Smooth and warm, it glistens like a polished metal ribbon in your hands. It will protect you against all dragons and will shelter a small cousin against her furry fanged creature. What about me? Screeches Zed. Farewell, says the dragon, ignoring the plea, and rising to its feet, it shakes its great wings and slithers to one end of the island. Zed still clutched tightly in its tail. You and Saffron cling to each other as the great winds rise. At last the great wings fill the air, and the dragon soars into the reddened sky. You watch until the dragon of doom and Zed are only a small dot in the sky, and then finally fade from sight. The end. And Shen takes his new back scratcher and exits the scene. Stage left. Yes, sir. Yep. All right, guys, that was great. And it looks like it took us exactly 2 hours to get through it. I don't think there's a need to go back and change that ending. I think we got a good one. Well, I appreciate you joining me tonight. Clearly, my family has other plans. Oh, Victor, yes, please. Go ahead and drop your channel link, and if anybody else wants to, do so. Rudini, I know that I subscribe to you too, so I don't know if Victor has it. No, okay. Victor says he doesn't have a channel, but in the description below is the link to my Discord, and you guys can chat there. At least if you want to. Everybody wanted to talk to me while I was live streaming tonight, but that's generally the case. Okay, we'll maybe see you here again. Well, tomorrow night, me and my Fridays from the Hill players will be back here for our episode 13 on Friday the 13th for Fridays from the Hilt. We've been on hiatus for a bit, but we'll be back tomorrow live talking about werewolves and gaming and G.I. Joe and all sorts of good stuff. What's a Discord? I like that. I like that, Rudini. I used to think so too. Yep, Victor's on Discord too. Anyway, hope everybody had a good time. I know that I did. That is a good book. I really like Dragon of Doom. I think if anybody wants to pick that one again, you know what? I almost forgot. I've got quite a few Endless Quest books. Any requests for next month's episode when we read another one? Rudini says, seriously, don't know. Okay, well, in the description below is a link to the Discord server and my server. Discord is like a place where people can talk and share videos and pictures and all sorts of stuff. Sort of like Facebook without all the extra baggage. Wasn't what you expected when you came to the stream? Well, yeah, this is definitely a different one for us. I did one of these last month and it did pretty good. So everybody wanted me to come back, and Victor picked out Dragon of Doom and everybody agreed to it. So if you guys have a request for next time, put it up there. Yeah, Nosarian's there too. And express a good night, Rudini and Nosarian. Pillars of Pentagon. Now, if we do that, we might actually be reading two because there is a sequel. That might just pick out the one for the following episode. But thanks, everybody, for coming along and saying hi. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Rudini. Like I said, I want to do this probably, let me look at my schedule real quick. As Victor says later, Rue. Rue, I kind of like that. Rudini. I thought that was a cool name too. But Endless Quest books and me, that would be on the 9th is when I've got the next one planned, episode 3. So November 9th, we'll be back with let's see here, Pillars of Pentagon. I got no problems reading this one. I really like this one and its sequel. So that'll be cool. Didn't know these books. Did fantasy fighting and choose your own adventure. Yep. Well, that's what they were. They were TSR's attempt at getting into their own choose your own adventures. And I really enjoy the Endless Quest books a lot. Probably more than some of the other ones. But I think we had a good stream tonight. And I enjoyed reading that a lot. And thanks for participating, guys. But you all have a good night. And hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Logan out.